Hello and welcome to Palindrome ASMR. Today I saw a very interesting thing on YouTube. There is a bug where it is possible for people to subtract subscribers from a YouTube channel very quickly by rapidly subbing and unsubbing, and I was there. So what happened was this channel called Blacklight TV, I think, was having a stream of Tana Mongoose's I don't think that's her real name, but Tana Mongo's subscriber count because of the recent YouTube drama that's gone on involving iDubbbz and Tana Mongo. iDubbbz absolutely wrecked her. So what happened was she called him out for saying nigger on in his videos and told him to kill himself. And it was funny because iDubbbz showed a whole bunch of people saying, "Don't do this, Tana. Don't do this, Tana. You don't want to mess with iDubbbz." And so iDubbbz absolutely roasted her. iDubbbz roasted her in a video. I mean, absolutely destroyed her. And he went to one of her events, and for the meet and greet, he walked up to her, wrapped his arm around her, and said, "Say nigger." Infamous moment in YouTube history. I saw the video 1 hour after it was uploaded, so I was there. I saw it. And then this YouTuber who was streaming a live count of Tana Mongo's subscriber count suddenly found a bug. And so he was the first channel to have negative subscribers. And I didn't believe it at first, but I looked at the count and it was negative. He had negative subscribers. And don't do it. I'm not going to explain how the bug works. If you already know how the bug works, I'm in trouble because I only have 50 subscribers, and anyone doing that to me could quickly reduce me to 0. Just one person could reduce me to 0. But I'm not going to explain how the bug works. I'm just going to say that it exists and that YouTube is hopefully trying to fix it. But I was there for the whole drama. I'm just going to put this for the record. I was there. Okay, now on to the more relaxing stuff. Okay. Yes, alright. So, because this is an ASMR channel, and this is not a YouTube drama channel. I was just alerting you of a cool bug and just saying, I was there, saw the whole thing go down. And that's going to be my title, a clickbaity title, so that I can hopefully ride this wave. Hopefully I'll be able to ride this wave with a clickbaity title. I'm just going to say, I was there. I have nothing to say about it. I'm not going to explain how it works, but I'm just saying, I was there. So, what am I going to talk about? What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I think I'm going to get back into RPG Maker, because RPG Maker is a great thing. You've seen on this channel, there are several Let's Make a Game episodes on RPG Maker, and they are quite fun. RPG Maker is quite fun, especially when you see the finished product, because the finished product is always just absolutely great. I recently started reading the No Game, No Life light novels, a fan translation, because apparently the official translation is absolutely garbage. But I've been reading a fan translation, and it is difficult to read at best, because, it's a fan translation, but it's enjoyable, I think. And there are 6. So a light novel is usually only around 30,000 words long, maybe even 40,000, but it's shorter than a novella. It's a light novel, and most of it is dialogue. It's usually just a lot of dialogue. And what I found interesting about this light novel is how names worked. There are every character, pretty much every main character, has a name that is 4 letters long and starts with an S. Sora, Shiro, Shana. But in Japanese, they're different kanji, so it's easy to tell them apart. In English, they all start with S, and so, shi, and su are different letters in Japanese. They're different hiragana. But in English, they all start with S. And so it's pretty difficult to tell the names apart, and I kept getting confused. No Game, No Life was very good when I first watched it, but in my second watching, I found out that it is actually not that good. It's contrived, it's stupid, it's pandering, fan serviceful. There's some random boob grabbing scenes, and there's some random bath scenes that are in there for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than fan service. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's fun. And Dungeons and Dragons, that is a very interesting game. It's a game that I've played, and I don't have very much fun while playing it, and I don't look forward to playing it. I kind of dread actually interacting with people, but when I look back on the time I spent playing the game, I think, that was fun. There was, I was being the dungeon master for a group of 3, and there was this touching moment that occurred where the characters helped a ghost pass into the afterlife. And so it was like the ghost spoke to them, and I was doing the voice like, "I am a ghost, and I have been waiting for you here." And, I do, for the kobolds, the voice is like, "Oh, food for the 8-legged mother." So, I like doing voices when I DM because it's just fun. It's fun to do voices as the DM, and sometimes it works. Sometimes I get a good voice, and sometimes I get a bad voice. But so this ghost was angry and was hysterical at first, and went and threatened to attack them, and then they calmed it down with some persuasion checks, and they told her, "Your friend is dead," and the ghost went, "Ah," or I was playing the ghost, of course, but and then the ghost eventually was like, "Prove to me that you are the people you say you are, so I may give you what I have protected." And she was supposed to give them treasure, but eventually they proved to her that she and that was what was supposed to happen in the story. That was all that was supposed to happen. But then these guys, they started to tell her about how she could pass on, and how as a ghost she would need to come to terms with her life and find refuge in the afterlife. And eventually they convinced her to just think about things and then pass on into the afterlife. And the last moment, she was like, one of the characters, she disappeared into her cave, into the darkness, and they weren't able to tell whether or not she had passed. And then one of the characters said, I use detect magic to see whether or not I detect any undead in the area. And I was like, whoa. And I said, no. And it was like, ooh, it gave me shivers, because it was like, anyways, that is the kind of storytelling that Dungeons and Dragons is. That's the meat of Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of storytelling. I'll remember this event for a long time, much more than I will remember a comparable event in a video game, because this was an event between people. This was spontaneous. I did not plan it. And there was another moment where one of my characters flipped onto the back of a giant spider and was like hanging on by his fist as the giant spider climbed through its web, going and he started stabbing the giant spider in the back. And there was another moment where these guys were conversing with kobolds in Draconic, and two of my characters were Dragonborn, so they knew Draconic. But this third character was a tiefling that did not know Draconic, and so the tiefling was like, what? What's going on? Well, I mean, he was role-playing because we were speaking in English, but it was a funny role-playing moment. And then there was a pet snake. One of my characters tamed a flying snake and tied it up with rope and tamed it and brought it back to the house. And it was pretty funny because he got a pet snake. It would still be a wild animal, but it was he tamed it. It was pretty funny, and I thought it was cool. So that is about it, actually. I think I'm just going to ramble and play around with this for the rest of the time. So, I think my mission in life is to become an elementary school teacher. I was sitting and meditating one day when it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. Being an elementary school teacher is a job I would not hate, because when I was in elementary school, my elementary school teachers were cool. Some of them were, some of them weren't. And they always looked like they were having a lot of fun. I don't know if it was just me or if it was them, but my elementary school teachers, all of them, all looked like they were having a lot of fun teaching elementary school. And I think to myself, I thought, I would love to be an elementary school teacher. Not because I would actually enjoy doing it, but because I wouldn't hate it. Because I like kids, I like teaching, and I like being in control of a conversation. I love the position of control. That's just how I am. I like being the leader of a group. I like being dungeon master. I like directing people. And being an elementary school teacher, you get the most control over your class. As a kindergarten teacher, your children are so rambunctious that it's impossible to control them. And as a high school teacher, your children are too old for you to exercise. Like, I'm not talking about negative control. I'm talking about leadership. I'm talking about a position where you are their leader, their role model. As an elementary school teacher, all of these kids look up to you. And I like it when people look up to me as an example. I like it when I can show people how to do things. I love teaching, basically. And I don't like the content of teaching so much as the act of teaching. I think you can probably see, if you've watched this channel for long enough, that I like talking about subjects on a moderate level. I pick a subject and I educate people about that subject. Like, I don't know. You can think of a couple examples probably better than I can, but I like being in a position where I have a sort of flock of people. And like, for example, today in our lab, my biology lab, we had an independent lab, and we came up with the idea, and I basically just took control and was like, all right, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And I love being dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons because I can, and I like real-time strategy games that give you a good amount of control. I'm not a control freak. I don't control people, and I'm using the word in its positive sense, in the sense that a captain controls his ship. So I don't so much control as I direct. Yes, that is a better word. I like direction. I like to direct other people. I don't like being directed. I love directing other people. I love directing other things. Being the person in charge. And as an elementary school teacher, I'll get to be in charge. And, of course, the kids will always be rambunctious, and some of them might be rebellious, but, I'm always soft about those things. I don't try hard to maintain my control. I just like it when I rise to this position where I can direct and enable. That is a better word. That's the best word. I like being the enabler. I like enabling other people to do good things. I like it when I am the conduit through which other people achieve things. Even if that means me not telling them what to do, but directing them when they don't know where to go. Or when they can't think of where to go. And so I like being a conduit for achievement. That is who I want to be. And that is the definition of an elementary school teacher: a conduit for achievement. So that is it. That is all. And tomorrow I will be here with a Lasifia Chapter 6. I will be reading out loud, and I will catch you on the other side. Thank you for watching, and I apologize for the soundless video last time, but I've been having technical difficulties, and hopefully this will go through. Thank you, and goodbye.